smarts and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
No. Door's fucking open. So, I can't really... I just don't even feel like screaming right now because, you know, this is just one of those things where there's nothing much to say because it's just copying the same thing again. So what else is there really to say? But, regardless, hey everyone, it's Donji Corleone here, and I'm already here with another epic rant again. And this epic rant this time is going to be for a film that came out this January. Yeah, let's end off. This was a shitty start to the year for movies. There was one alright stream it, two shitty films to come out this month because it's January. What do you fucking expect? Yeah, this year is already off to a terrific start. Great. Or you have to have two shitty films to kick off the year. This one, though, well, the first shitty movie was bound to be bad because it was a January horror film and it was the first one to kick off the year, so it was obvious that was going to be bad from the beginning. This one, this is just already our first reboot of the year, and this one made me more mad because I'm a fan of the original movie it's based off of, and it was a little musical Broadway show, and it was now given a film adaptation, an insulting one. And if you can tell what it is, this is going to be for January 2024's Mean Girls, the musical film remake version. So what's the plot of this movie? Well, from the comedic mind of Tina Fey comes a new twist on the modern classic film Mean Girls. We all know the same plot of the original. A student named Katie Hearn gets welcomed into the top of social food chain by the elite group of popular girls called the Plastics, ruled by Regina George and her minions Gretchen and Karen. Then Katie makes the major mishap of falling for Regina's ex-boyfriend Aaron Samuels. She then finds herself to prey in Regina's crosshairs. As Katie sets to take down the group's apex predator with the help of her outcast friends Janice and Damien, she has to learn how to stay true to herself while navigating the most cutthroat jungle of all, and that's high school. So how was this film made? Well, it was around 2013, nearly like 11 years ago, when Tina Fey wanted to do a stage musical adaptation of Mean Girls, and that musical premiered in 2017 in Washington, D.C., and got transferred to Broadway in 2018. Then Fey wrote the book of the show while her husband literally composed the music with lyrics that were written by Neil Benjamin. And the show, somehow, if the show received positive reviews from critics, is the show this shitty? Like, I'll get to this stuff later. Then, like January 2020, Faye even said a film adaptation was going to be in development. And it got filmed, shot, and marketed. And after all that, Mean Girls, this version, premiered in New York January 8, 2024, and was actually released in the United States by Paramount on the same weekend as The Beekeeper of January 12, 2024. It has grossed around the 80 million mark worldwide at the box office, and has received mixed reviews from critics. Now, how was my reaction? Well, this was the final January release of the year, and oh my god. Yeah, we're already starting 2024, and I've already found so far the #1 worst movie of this damn year. Wouldn't it be surprised? I wouldn't even be surprised if it stays #1. Well, probably could be #1 for now. Something much worse could be coming out that could probably surpass it. Like, this probably could stay #1, or maybe another bad film or more will likely surpass us, but I wouldn't be surprised if it stays in the top 3 at the end of the year. This film, this already was expected to be bad by the trailers, but dear God, It was much worse than I thought it would be. It was pretty much just another TikTok-style redo of the first film, just repeating the same shit, same scenes. They're just less funny now than they were in the original movie. And this time with shitty actors who couldn't even act their way out of the streets. And yeah, there are some cameos back, but they don't even sound like they give a fuck. Like, Tim Meadows is back, and he just, because now he's in his 60s though, so he just sounds so grumpy and just sounds so irritated to be in this version. Like he just sounds like he doesn't give a fuck anymore. And the mean girls in this one, they're not even this mean in this version. They're just unnecessarily dumb and horribly written. It's just it's apparently like a representation of the new generation. This is just a mess. Like, from the beginning, like, I already could tell the film was gonna be bad. Like, just a bloody piece of garbage. Nothing funny, nothing inspiring, and it's just unnecessary and unneeded. The original film. Yeah, the original Mean Girls, on the other hand, I like the original film. It's actually one of my favorite comedies of the 2000s. And, like this though, like, it did not need a remake at all. It didn't need any follow-ups of any kind. But apparently, Faye must have felt like I needed to make some musical adaptation, a shitty version of the film based off the Broadway show. This should have been directed video. Seriously, now, I'm just not a big fan of the musical genre to begin with. I mean, I like Les Miserables, I like West Side Story. No, I like Les Miserables, I like The Greatest Showman, I liked the 2021 remake of West Side Story, even though that stars an actress I hate, and I liked Wonka. Okay, so I don't hate musicals, but seriously, this did not need to be a musical to begin with. Like, there's no good songs in this one. There's no good performances by anyone. Just bad staging, bad costumes, just bad. Yeah. The original did a better job being meaningful to generations. Like, even in Spy Less, like, this film does not. At all. It sucks even doing that. Like, the problems with this movie and the film, they're huge. And the worst offender is, like, none of the girls act like they're even mean. At all. The creators, like, decided that the world had enough. You know what? This world's had enough of being mean. Darn it. So, like, it's basically like the filmmakers just threw tantrums like Caillou on the floor and decided to throw shit everywhere, hoping it would stick. And what we get is what sticks is an overabundance of forced down your throat attempts like diversity and inclusion. Oh, by the way, there's some plot thing that gets glossed over. Like 20 years later is not really justifiable enough for a remake of a film. Like, with the exception of, like, social media, not much even changes in the lives of stereotypical high school people. Like, everything about this movie is just much worse. The fashion's misplaced. At times it looks like it's 90s, at times early 2000s, so it's confusing, even though there's social media in the film. They're changing characters' races or names for the sake of it, for no other reason, just to add more diversity. And like, the original Regina was skinny, so when she ate all the fake little weight loss bars, there was a significant change in her physical appearance. And that's a joke, the bars that make you put on weight. It's actually funny. Like, this Regina here, there's no difference in Regina's physical appearance before and after she eats the bars. Even when she eats the bars in this version, she looks the same. So it just ruins one of the funniest jokes of the first film. And, like, just the way this movie begins, you can already tell this movie's going to be shit. How it is, like, and honestly, there's going to be a lot of spoilers here, because, like, this movie's just the same exact movie as the original. There's just nothing else really much to say that isn't spoilery. It opens up with Janice and Damien. They're in a garage. They introduce a story featuring romance in the first song, which is Cautionary Tale. It's basically a story of romance, drama, betrayal, and of course, because Regina gets hit by a bus, it's someone getting hit by a bus. In the musical number, it starts off cringy. Even Damien basically twerks his ass during it. And the new actors, like, these new actors already suck. They don't even hold a candle to Lizzie Kaplan, or I forget the original actor for Damien's name. Like, even they're way better than this new duo. Yeah, that duo in the original was more iconic than this. And then we cut to the actual film, and it starts the same intro as the original. Like, Katie living in Africa, already done in the original, and now has to go back to the United States with her mother to be enrolled in public school, same as the original. Oh, except the only different thing in this version is, oh, you know where Katie's dad in the original? He's nowhere to be seen. There is no dad in this version. Nowhere. So we don't even know how they're even there in the first place. So Katie begins attending North Shore High School, and she meets teachers like Miss Norbury, who's played by Tina Fey again, Coach Carr, who's now played by John Hamm, and Madam Park, now played by Ashley Park. How creative. And then the principal, still played by a now grumpy Tim Meadows, who just sounds bored. And then we get the lunch scene again, where Janice and Damien invite Katie to join them, and they find her eating alone in the bathroom. And they bring her back to the cafeteria, and they show her the different types of cliques you can join. And right before Katie spots the plastics, the popular nastiest girls in school, even though they don't act nasty at all in this movie. And Janice and Damien then talk to Katie about Gretchen Wieners, the rich but mostly fragile one, and then we all know Karen, who's pretty but really dumb. Then they get led by the queen bee, Regina George, who strikes fear into the hearts of our students, and this new actress can't even hold a candle to Rachel McAdams at all. And Katie even catches Regina's eye and is invited to go over to their table. Then another student named Jason Weems literally comes over to make a crude comment to Katie, but Regina then proceeds to humiliate Jason in front of the whole cafeteria. Then Regina invites Katie to eat lunch with her and Gretchen and Karen for the rest of the week. Janice and Damien see a self-opportunity for Katie to get dirt on the plastics. Yeah, of course. That's literally the original film. Like, what do you expect? This is also in the original film, except it's written better. And the majority of the songs in this one they add in, they're forgettable, they're repetitive and dull. It detracts from the narrative's depth and diluting the film's intended message. And the voices of the actors, they compound the film's challenges, making the lackluster stunts more difficult to endure and just outright ear-bleedingly insufferable to listen to. And Angry Rice's lack of charisma hampers her portrayal of the protagonist, especially when Lindsay Lohan did her better, presenting this humorless and personality deficient version of Katie Heron here. Just a lame version of the same character. Nothing interesting. And Renee Rapp's take on Regina, George adds to the setbacks. Like, Renee Rapp, the new actress, can't even hold a fucking candle to Rachel McAdams, who portrayed her better. And I'll get to that stuff later. And despite her efforts, she just comes across just this budget-friendly rendition of the original character, cruel, lacking the comedic or iconic presence. And the girl played Karen, it feels like Karen in this movie just could have been left out. The same way this movie should have not been remade. You remember the original actress, Amanda Seyfried? She did her better. Here even. Actually made Karen a funny character. Here. You could actually tell immediately that Karen would automatically be the stupid one. Actually played the stupid one of the group perfectly. This version of Karen just stares too hard, and this version of Karen you just want to punch the minute she gets met. Even Katie was just as stupid as Karen in this film. Not as obnoxiously off base as the girl who played Karen, though, but Katie makes even stupider decisions in this version. Yeah, and then of course we get to Aaron Samuels again, because that's also in the original movie, where she meets Aaron Samuels in her calculus class, and then she decides, of course, like the original movie, pretends to be dumb in order to spend time with him more. And then, of course, on the other hand, we cut to our fake imposters, Janice and Damien, the fake versions of them. They're annoyed at Katie's lack of info with the plastics, and they warn her not to fall for any of Regina's tricks, and as a way to control the other students around her. And that whole sequence led to 2 other stupid songs. And then Katie joins the girls at Regina's house right away. There's no shopping mall scene here. They cut that out because we want a more family-friendly version of this, which is really stupid. And then we meet Regina's mother, who instead of being played by Amy Poehler this time, she's now played by Busy Phillips. Then in Regina's room, Katie tells Gretchen and Karen she likes Aaron, but the girls warn her not to mention that to Regina because, of course, that's her ex-boyfriend. We all know how that goes. Then Regina's mom pulls out the burn book that the plastics created to write mean things about either girls in their grade, and in the original film, it was Gretchen the one who pulled it out, not Regina's mom. I don't know if Regina's mom even knew about that book. Seriously, I don't know how in this version Regina's mom would suddenly be fine with her daughter writing a burn book about other people. No. Whatever. Then when you get to Janice's picture, she has like a lesbian for short, right next to her picture, and Damien gets the too gay to function on there. And after Katie then brings it up, since, well, we all know Janice introduces him that way, and the girls tell Katie and Janice and Regina used to be friends, that Janice got obsessed and set Regina's backpack on fire, and then Gretchen is also shown to be too dependent on Regina. Then after that, we cut straight away to the Halloween party scene, and Gretchen and Karen are getting ready to try and find the hottest costume. And Katie dresses like a grotesque zombie bride. And in this scene, like during the whole song that's called "Sexy," apparently, Karen and some of her students like literally stick their ass at the screen in the song number again. Another ass stick up again. And Gretchen lets it, even after that whole stupid song that just all further just made me despise the film. Gretchen lets it slip that Katie likes Aaron, and then Regina pretends to go talk to him for Katie's sake, but she, of course, like the original film, uses her manipulation tactics to pulls Aaron in for a kiss. Katie witnesses this and feels betrayed, goes back to her friends Janice and Damien, the fake imposter versions. They declare that she now hates Regina as much as they do. Then Katie brings up the backpack story, and Damien clarifies the story as that Regina kissed Janice during a game of Spin the Bottle, and started a rumor that Janice had an obsessive crush on her, even used a plush doll to make fun of her. And then the plush doll got set on fire, so Regina's backpack on fire, got Janice kicked out of school for the rest of the year. So then Katie goes along with Janice, Damien's plan to ruin Gina's life. All that, like, just the difference is the backpack story, and in this one, like, in the original, like, Janice being a lesbian was a rumor. Here, it already looks like she is a lesbian. It ruins the whole point of the character. I mean, okay, the movie's not bad because it's a musical. It's bad because it's unnecessary. It's just an insult to the original. It just does the same thing, just makes a shitty version of the same movie. And the songs are terrible. Even. Like, there's not a single melody that's even catchy in any of the songs. They're flat and processed. They're mixed terribly. There's no duets or ensemble songs either. They're just designed to be pop songs. It's a terrible way to write songs for a musical. And the songs don't advance the plot at all. They just focus on surface level aspects of a scene. And the lyrics are just flat out bad. Like, with Sexy, like, Sexy starts as an ode to Halloween, and then they abandon the fun premise and have it sound like a generic EDM pop song again with more ass stick-ups in the air. And why Cinema picks Predator that grating way? And not to mention, like, you know the iconic score and theme music from the original? That's all gone. All gone. Wiped away. And to remind you of the better, inside of this, briefly remind you of the actually already done better movie, just the original from 2004. Most of the scenes feel like just silent and frankly just awkward. Just awkward's the best way to describe a lot of the performances. Their impression of the original, and just about they barely work. I mean, Baby Wood tries to give an impression of Lacey Chabert, and without the manic intensity, and Naventina is fine and funny, tries as Karen at least, but her Karen is just utterly brain dead. Like, Amanda already did her better. Like, Amanda even humanized the role in the original, which this new actress can barely do. And all the characters' base aspects are even dialed up to 11. It's like the writers of this movie just don't understand them in the first place. And the most biggest example is easily Janice in this version, and that's done to perhaps the most illustrative of how thin and weak the writing performances are. Not does Cavallo does not hold a candle to the punk rock essence of Lizzie Kaplan's performance in the original movie. She's just an even worse character here. Like, OG Janice, yeah, she kind of started the whole conflict in the first place, but Janice was charming and smart in that version. You all understood she still wanted to be liked and was deeply hurt by Regina. Even while hating her, she wanted to be at least thought of by Regina. Here, like, predictably, Janice is effortlessly cool, confident, has none of the darkness the original did, and not to mention, like, they end up making her a lesbian anyway, and that defeats the entire point of the character, and Janice looked and acted a certain way not because of her sexuality, but literally because that's who she was. Like, the reveal is she's in fact straight, was an intimate of lesbianism, and simply reminds us not to make assumptions about people, and that ruined the character immediately. And Renee Rapp, oh boy. Like, Rachel McAdams was not an iconic antagonist because she was mean, which is what the writers seem to have thought with this new version. Regina's just a mean character. No. Regina in the original was a mean character who was smart, calculated, aware of her power and privilege, and unafraid to wield it. Rachel McAdams actually portrayed all those perfectly. Renee here just walks down the halls, sings about how great she is, never demonstrates the meanness of the power that Regina's supposed to have. They just soften her character to an extent, and it's hard to believe she'd do most of the terrible things people think she does. Rab may look like Regina, but doesn't hold a candle. So then after Katie, Janice, and Damien plan their revenge, they have Katie start to get Gretchen and Karen to turn against Regina. So around Christmas, they make it look like Regina sent Katie a candy cane and none for Gretchen, and it caused her insecurity to boil over and spill some of Regina's secrets to Katie, then records all that. And one of the secrets is Regina is cheating on Aaron with Sham and Allman. Like this guy named Sham, And when Katie tells him about, catches Regina and Shane smoking out, making out in the janitor's closet, and then Aaron then breaks up with her, and there's no like Coach Cart thing, which I guess that's a good thing. Katie then joins the Plastics, and then we get to the talent show, the Christmas talent show scene, like the original movie, because we gotta recreate the whole original movie. We get to that part. Then everyone in the school is sick of like they're rocking around the pole dance instead of like Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. It's now changed to Rocking Around the Pole, and Jingle Bell Rock was more funnier and more iconic. And Damien, so we get to see some more acts where Damien has to sing because this is Paramount. We get a reference to iCarly. Damien sings the iCarly theme in French. And the Mathley character, Kevin G, yeah, he's in this version. And then we get to Kevin G's crude rap, and I'll explain more of that part later. Then Regina installs both Gretchen and Karen. They do their stupid dance, and it takes a disastrous turn when Regina, Gretchen, and Karen take the tumble on stage, and Katie continues to dance. Like, in the original movie, they're doing Jingle Bell Rock, and I think one of them accidentally ends up kicking the stereo and it breaks, or something like that. And then they sing the song themselves. Like, instead, it's done lame here. Katie just continues dancing while one of them just falls, and the incident goes viral on TikTok, and people mock Regina and they begin to praise Katie. This sucks. Lame and unfunny. And during lunch, like Gretchen and Karen no longer allow her. We get to this part way too damn early. Way too early. Even. Like, we don't even see like the whole Taco Bell or the dress up part. No, like we get to the whole, you're wearing sweatpants, it's Monday, too damn early, right away. We cut out a lot of important shits. So yeah, we get to that part. Gretchen and Karen no longer allow Regina to sit with them because she's now wearing sweatpants to her weight gain, even though she literally looked the same throughout the whole film, so it wouldn't matter. And take out a whole bunch of lines, make it too censored and family friendly for the kiddies today. And like one of the funniest scenes of the original that happened during the Christmas show, the Kevin G rap, Kevin G says, let's sneak in that door and make love to your woman on the bathroom floor. Oh, Kevin, thank you, Kevin, that's enough. Yeah, I know from the original, which was actually funny. Like, it was still censored, but you still get to hear a little bit of the rap. Like, here, the rap is shortened to 6 seconds instead of 30 seconds. Like, in Tim Meadows, the original, he was like, thank you, Kevin, that's enough, before he makes him stop. Here, now it's changed to, after 6 seconds, too inappropriate, get off. No! I prefer thank you, Kevin, that's enough. After 30 seconds. Here you only get to listen 6 seconds and it's not even funny anymore. Because we want this version to be more appropriate. Boo fucking who. Then just the script lacks the meanness and bite of the original movie. It's core to its identity. The script was near perfect. It's layered with characters, iconic lines, scenes, dynamics. It's none of that here. Because I mentioned the Kevin G scene, the whole script in general is just toned down, toothless, and lame. They redo scenes in this one, they're worse. When they rewrite scenes, they're even worse than what we did here for Nostalgia. Even the side characters, the eternal part of making North Shore feel real, they just show up to say iconic lines, leave, because we need the fan service again, and they just look way better than the original, they try to look way better than the original people in their roles. They often create scenes from the original Mean Girls movie, and all the references to the first movie as well. Because, we gotta have the nostalgia bait, I've already said, nostalgia. And turn nostalgia being shoved in your face all the time. Yeah, then after so many other shit keeps getting cut out more and more and more, We get to the whole party scene like the original version. Katie gets informed that Aaron is there, so Katie tries to talk to Aaron, and while in the original she threw up on Aaron, and that made him hate her and never want to speak to her again, and so he stormed off. And it made the conflict and his hatred afterwards more justified and reasonable. Katie just gets very drunk and tries to talk to Aaron, but ends up telling him how he's just pretending to be dumb to talk to him. And that just starts his conflict right away. It just makes Katie more of a fucking idiot. And Katie follows him out. And then, of course, we get the Janice and Damien argument again. They're both angry at Katie for lying to them, being just as bad as Regina. And instead of Damien having a car this time, he has like a trolley instead. I prefer the car thing where it's like, Janice, I can't stop this car, I have a curfew. And then like when Katie was like in the original, it's not my fault, you love me or something. What? Oh no, she did not. When he stopped the car right there, now that is funny. That's actually done. That actually helps the conflict. And even that gets Damien mad, decides to ditch his curfew. Right there. Like, here, I don't think that even happens. Like, so yeah, pretty much after their arguments, and Janice and Damien stop being friends with her, and Janice leaves Kane with her winning art piece, and drawing the three of them. And I don't remember hearing, like, I think Damien says, and I want my pig shirt back, like, not like how he said in the original, and I want my pig shirt back. I want my pig shirt back when it was improvised. Like, it doesn't even, it sounds way less great here. I don't know, remember if he says it or not, but then, and then of course we have the scene where Regina finds out that the calcium bars make her gain weight, and it was from her new boyfriend Jock this time, but this version, it's actually her mom telling her that instead. And there's no rage like tantrum here at all. Here, unlike the original where Regina threw that screaming tantrum when she found that out and found out that Katie was lying to her about the bars and decided to get revenge on Katie by making it look like Katie wrote about her in the book and wrote the book. Yeah. So yeah. But like the original, Regina brings her burn book to school, plans of everyone to find, and the pages of contents go viral, and there's a brawl around the high school between all the girls. Then Tim Meadows and once again breaks it up like the original, and has all the girls and apparently Damien in disguise gather in the auditorium. And of course the narrative is like this, yeah, it's just the same as the original. Just the writing trying to recreate something fun, but it's not done here. It doesn't feel the same. I've already mentioned this millions of times, but there's just nothing else to say. Like, and of course then Norbury, who of course got accused of being a drug dealer, like in the original movie, that happened as well, has the girls get together and they have to apologize in a trust fall exercise, and then several comments, especially the girl that doesn't even go here again. Janice then gets up and confesses to Regina her and Katie's whole revenge scheme against her and how they ruined her life. And then Janice runs around the school proud of herself, like, instead of ending it with, maybe I've got a big lesbian crush on you, suck on that, and then falls to the crowd, does this excited cheer. Like, no, that's not here. It's just runs off around the school proud of herself instead, which is less satisfying. And then Katie and Regina argue about the revelation, and then the bus scene happens again. And instead of like the whole grounded scene, we get to the rumors about Katie pushing Regina in front of the bus right away. But of course, because like the original, she survived. Regina was recovering with that neck and back brace, and then Katie realizes that the lives of many girls in Miss Norbury got affected by the burn book. Katie decides to take full responsibility, gets suspended for 3 weeks. But you know the part before all this? In this scene, like, Katie's grounded by her dad, like, after confessing that she failed her test and was distrusted by her parents in the original movie. Here, there's not any of that. Like, she just shows her mom the suspension form, and her mom's just like, you're not like this. And then after her suspension montage, her mom just immediately is suddenly forgiving of her right away, turns her phone and comforts her daughter afterwards. Like, no. It's fucking stupid. Just forgives her straight away. No, like, Katie's consequences in the original were realistic and more reasonable. Because, like, everyone was, like, mad at her throughout nearly the rest of the damn film until the end. So there was actually some deserved consequences here to the character for her actions. It took her till the entire ending to finally re-win everybody's respect, and that's more effective. So then after her return, her grades improve again, and Norbury offers her a way to get extra credit. And then we get another, and then of course Kevin enters the picture, tries to keep saying more immature dialogue again, but gets another attempted censor, so it can be PG-13 from Norbury. Even though we see some people, even though in this version we saw people sticking out and twerking their asses, and plus the original was PG-13 as well. So that's just a very stupid and apocryphal way to break the fourth wall. Really. The mathlete scene happens, and then we get a cameo from Lindsay Lohan. I will admit, it's nice to see Lindsay Lohan improving herself after she did get herself in trouble many times. And yeah, but this is just the same exact ending. We know how this whole ending goes. Seriously, Katie ends up causes her team to win the mathletes competition. Then they go to prom. And here, Katie finds Regina in the bathroom, makes peace with her, which didn't happen in the original, but that's only because Regina's high on painkillers. Then the winners of the Spring Fling King and Queen get announced. Katie tries to find Janice and Damien to reconcile with them, but then Shane is announced as king, and Katie gets announced as the queen. Then she then gives a speech about everyone, how they're all special, shares pieces of her tiara with everyone, including the plastics. And then, of course, like the original, Janice and Damien forgive Katie, goes to dance with Aaron, they share their first kiss, but yeah, that's the same ending, really. Just same ending, just less great, and it just makes, and it's not really worthy of, unlike the original, which felt more like an actual redemption for Katie in that scene. Here it doesn't even feel like that, because Katie was just really stupid in this version, didn't do anything remotely special. Yeah, the Janice and Damien, we cut back to these stupid imposters of them. They conclude the story, deliver the moral. Everyone in school's just trying to live their lives. Everyone just says to stay off each other's dicks to close off the film. Yeah, it's a great line to close off this garbage movie. Stay off each other's dicks. How about stay off each other's backs instead? Not stay off each other's dicks. So it's the same girl that was basically not even pleasant to sit through at all in this version, and the one who started this whole conflict in the first place? Yeah, that's the end of the film. Just what a great, shitty-ass carbon copy version of the original. Nothing good, nothing funny, just a lame musical, and I'm wondering, is the Broadway musical this shitty? Probably. Was there any good qualities? Well, okay. The one change I do like is at least the subplot with the coach and the Asian girls is gone from this film, because that was a bad quality I had with the original movie. The Lohan cameo was nice to see as well. And Katie and Regina making peace in the bathroom was one nice change, even if it was all just because she was high on painkillers, but it also doesn't work as well because this Regina barely even acts mean. Barely. Other than those things, you want to know what this film should be called? TikTok Girls. Because it feels like a TikTok acted version of the film. So TikTok Girls, yeah, easily the worst movie I've already seen this year, and I'm just gonna go rewatch the original film and just pretend this movie just doesn't fucking exist. Utter horseshit. And it's the first horseshit of the year already. Oh boy. First, we're already in the start of this year, we already have to have a horseshit. Not good. No. So in the end, just go rewatch the 2004 original if you want a good version of this film, because this movie's just basically the same exact film, except the original was at least 97 minutes and not over 2 fucking hours like this one was. This really did not need to be a musical, and it definitely did not need to have any follow-ups. It was fine as a standalone film, and that is it. Anyways, that's it for my epic rant on TikTok Girls. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank TikTok Girls, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, unless you want to see a horseshit TikTok adaptation of the 2004 film, you will definitely get that with this movie all the way through. And if you were wondering how I'm going to rank TikTok Girls 2024, I'm going to give TikTok Girls a 2 out of 10. There we go. That wraps up my epic rant for TikTok Girls, and I'm finally planning to start a new review series now. Now that I finally got those long overdue reviews out of the way, my next review series is going to be dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Yes, our next rewatch. Now, this might be a hard review series because I only own the first two, and I think I also own Salvation on Blu-ray, but for obvious reasons, I remember owning the first two because those are the ones I like. I'm not a fan of Rise of the Machines. Terminator Salvation depends on the version I watch, but it's the unrated version that counts. The theatrical version I don't give a shit about. Fuck Genesis. Hate Genesis as a lot. As I call Genesis shit. Or Terminator, or Craft Fate, or Dark Woke also sucks ass. It'll be fun ranting on those two. But Rise and Salvation would be normal reviews because I don't think those aren't really great movies either, but they're certainly not as bad as the one that come after those two. But yeah, until then, guys, that'll be it for this epic rant. Thank y'all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.